Mike Tyson's journey to becoming one of the most recognizable and challenging figures in boxing history is a narrative marked by victories, controversies, and a constant pursuit for distinction. And guess what? This journey reached a consequential milestone on November 22nd, 1986, when Tyson, at age 20, became the youngest heavyweight champion in history by beating Trevor Berbick in Las Vegas for the World Boxing Council heavyweight title. Stay tuned as we get into the video to highlight some fascinating facts about Mike Tyson's life and how he became the youngest heavyweight champion ever. Mike Tyson, a retired boxing icon, made history in 1986 by becoming the youngest heavyweight champion at just 20. But did you know his reign at the top was surprisingly quite short-lived? Yes, he lost the title in 1990 and later spent 3 years in prison following a rape conviction. Tyson's fame took another turn in 1997 when he bit off a part of Evander Holyfield's ear during a match. After retiring from boxing in 2005, Tyson shifted gears, starring in movies and TV shows, becoming a best-selling author, and even launching a thriving cannabis business. Before we dig deep into Tyson's professional boxing career, wouldn't you want to know where Mike Tyson is from and what actually motivated him to become the world's youngest heavyweight champion ever? Let's date back to 1966. Michael Gerard Tyson was born on June 30th, 1966 to parents Jimmy Kirkpatrick and Lorna Tyson in Brooklyn, New York. When Michael was 2 years old, his father walked out of the family, leaving Lorna to raise Michael and his two siblings, Rodney and Denise. The Tyson family was struggling financially, so they relocated to Brownsville, a Brooklyn neighborhood famous for its high crime rate. Small and shy, Tyson was often the target of bullying. To defend himself, he began developing his style of street actions and fights, which soon led him into a life of crime. His gang, known as the Jolly Stompers, assigned him to clear cash registers while other members held victims at gunpoint. But what's more disturbing? He was only 11 years old at the time. Tyson frequently ran into trouble with police, and by age 13, he had been arrested more than 30 times over his petty criminal activities. His unruly behavior landed him in the Tryon School for Boys, a reform school in upstate New York. At Tryon, Tyson crossed paths with counselor Bob Stewart, who had been a skilled boxing champion. Tyson wanted Stewart to train him how to use his fists. Stewart reluctantly agreed on the condition that Tyson would stay out of trouble and focus harder on their studies. Though previously labeled as having learning disabilities, Tyson made impressive progress, boosting his reading abilities to the 7th grade level within a few months. But it was not just studies that captured his attention. He became obsessed with mastering boxing techniques, so much that he often used to stay out of bed after curfew to practice punches in the dark. How the non-professional boxer met the legendary trainer Cus D'Amato. In 1980, Bob Stewart felt he had taught Tyson all he knew, and it was time for the young boxer to take a step ahead. So he introduced the aspiring boxer to legendary boxing director Constantine Cus D'Amato, who had a gym in Catskill, New York. D'Amato was renowned for taking a personal interest in encouraging fighters, even providing them a place to stay in the home he shared with his partner, Camille Ewald. With a track record of shaping the careers of several successful boxers, including Floyd Patterson and Jose Torres, he saw something extraordinary in Tyson from the beginning. D'Amato told the young boxer, "If you want to stay here, and if you want to listen, you could be the world heavyweight champion someday." The bond between D'Amato and Tyson was more than that of a professional trainer and a boxer. It was more like a father and son duo. D'Amato took Tyson under his wing at a pivotal moment in his life when the 14-year-old was paroled from Tryon in September 1980 and entered into D'Amato's full-time care. Under the supervision of D'Amato, his days were meticulously planned. D'Amato set a rigid training schedule for the young athlete, sending him to Catskill High School during the day and training in the ring every evening. D'Amato also accompanied Tyson in amateur boxing matches and smokers, non-sanctioned fights to help the teen navigate the challenges of dealing with more experienced opponents. Tyson's life seemed to be turning around, but in 1982 he suffered a wave of personal losses. That year, his mother passed away from cancer, leaving Tyson with regret. "I never saw my mother happy with me and proud of me for doing something," he later confessed to a reporter. "She only knew of me as being a wild kid running the streets, coming home with new clothes that she knew I didn't pay for. I never got a chance to talk to her or know about her." Around this time of difficulty, Tyson was expelled from Catskill High for his uneven and often violent behavior. Despite these setbacks, Tyson continued his education through private tutors while he was training himself for the Olympic trials of 1984. Tyson's performances in the trials didn't quite hit the mark. He lost to Henry Tillman, who eventually went on to win the gold medal. After that, D'Amato concluded that it was time for his fighter to step into the professional hall. How his professional boxing career started. On March 6, 1985, Tyson made his professional boxing debut into the boxing world in Albany, New York, against Hector Mercedes. The 18-year-old knocked out Mercedes in the first round. Tyson's strength, quick fists, and notable defensive abilities scared his opponents, who were often afraid to hit back the fighter. This scary reputation gave Tyson the uncanny ability to level his opponents in only one round and earned him the nickname Iron Mike. Although the year was a successful one for Tyson, but again it was also overshadowed by personal loss. On November 4th, 1985, his trainer and standby father, Cus D'Amato, died of pneumonia. Kevin Rooney took over for D'Amato, and less than 2 weeks later, Tyson swiftly resumed his incline in the heavyweight rankings. He recorded his 13th knockout in Houston and dedicated the fight to the man who had molded him into a professional. Despite his remarkable success, those close to Tyson have said he never fully recovered from D'Amato's death. When Mike Tyson easily became the youngest heavyweight champion of all time. After racking up a 27-0 professional record within a year and a half, Tyson earned a shot at the title against Trevor Berbick. At that time, Berbick was the WBC heavyweight champion, having claimed the title by defeating Pinklon Thomas. He also had previously defeated Muhammad Ali, the greatest, in the latter's final year as a fighter. November 22, 1986 was particularly a momentous day for boxing. Tyson and Berbick were set to face off on this day at the Las Vegas Hilton in Nevada. On Fight Night, fans got to see that the odds maker had it correct. Tyson easily dominated and won via a brutal knockout in the second round. Despite being the reigning champion and a much more accomplished fighter, Berbick entered into the title defense as a 3-1 underdog. 20-year-old Mike Tyson knocks out 33-year-old Trevor Berbick in 5 minutes and 35 seconds, making history as the youngest heavyweight champion ever. At age 20, Tyson not only took over the title, but also broke Floyd Patterson's record for the youngest heavyweight champion in history. After the fight, Mike Tyson declared to his manager, "I'm the youngest heavyweight boxing champion in history, and I'm going to be the oldest." Here is a twist you might not expect. Did you know that despite having millions of dollars and a heavyweight title on the line, Mike Tyson wasn't fighting for himself at all on November 22, 1986. Instead, he fought for Muhammad Ali. 5 years before Trevor Berbick faced Iron Mike, Berbick had gone up against Ali, who was no longer the dominating one at the time. In short, this was far from Ali at his peak. Ali, coming off a tough loss at the hands of Larry Holmes, faced young Berbick. Although Ali showed his determination, he was knocked by Berbick to a decisive defeat. That loss stung the former champion, but it also left a mark on Tyson. Years later, Mike Tyson recalls the way Berbick had defeated his idol and how Tyson was eager to hurt Berbick for it. In an interview with Vlad TV, he revealed, 100%, it was revenge for Ali. Yes, no doubt about it. I was going to kill him, Berbick. He was hitting Ali hard with everything he had. Ali didn't have anything left. He was trying to kill him. I said, oh, I can't wait until I get him. Tyson's reign in the ring didn't end with his win against Berbick. He successfully defended his title against James Smith on March 7, 1987, adding the World Boxing Association Championship to his impressive catalog of victories. Then on August 1st, he became the first heavyweight to hold all 3 major boxing belts when he seized the International Boxing Federation title from Tony Tucker. However, Tyson's dominance seemed to be on the decline. Once known for his tough offensive and defensive moves, the boxer seemed to continually rely on his one-punch knockout move to secure more victories. Frustrated with his performance, he pointed fingers at his trainer for struggling in the ring and fired Rooney in mid-1988. Tyson's reign as champion seemed unbeatable until February 11, 1990, when his winning streak shockingly came to an end and he lost his championship belt to Buster Douglas in Tokyo. Tyson, the clear favorite, sent Douglas to the mat in the 18th round. But Douglas came back in the 10th, leaving Tyson on the canvas for the first time in his boxing career. Although discouraged but not ready to give up, Tyson bounced back by knocking out Olympic gold medalist Henry Tillman, who's his former amateur boxing adversary later that year. After a series of victories, Tyson came head-to-head with his next big challenger, Evander Holyfield. Holyfield had been promised a title shot against Tyson in 1990 before Douglas defeated Tyson. Instead, Holyfield fought Douglas for the heavyweight title on October 25, 1990, and beat his opponent by knockout to become the new, unbeaten, invincible heavyweight champion of the world. Evander Holyfield fights. On November 9, 1996, Tyson stepped into the ring with Holyfield for the heavyweight title. However, that evening didn't go as planned for Tyson, who lost to Holyfield by a knockout in the 11th round. Instead of Tyson's anticipated victory, Holyfield made history by becoming the second person to win a heavyweight championship belt 3 times. But there's a surprise turn for the fans when Tyson blamed for being the victim of multiple illegal headbutts by Holyfield and vowed to take revenge for his loss. Tyson trained himself for a rematch with Holyfield, and on June 28, 1997, the two boxers faced off again. The fight was streamed on pay-per-view and entered nearly 2 million households, setting a record for the most paid television viewers at the time. Both boxers received record-breaking purses for the match, making them the highest-paid professional boxers in history until 2007. The first and second rounds provided the typical crowd-pleasing action expected from the two champions, but the match took a shocking turn in the third round when he bit both of the boxers' ears, even severing a piece of Holyfield's right ear. Later, Tyson claimed that the action was a revenge of Holyfield's illegal headbutts from the previous match. Judges were not convinced by Tyson's reasoning and disqualified the boxer from the fight. Tyson's final fights and retirement. On July 9, 1997, the Nevada State Athletic Commission invalidated Tyson's boxing license in a unanimous vote and fined the boxer $3 million for biting Holyfield several months later. Tyson had a further blow when he was instructed to pay boxer Mitch Green $45,000 for a 1988 street fighting incident. In October 1998, Tyson's Nevada boxing license was restored, and he returned to the ring the next year. The boxer had 4 wins and 2 no contests before attempting to win back the heavyweight title in 2002. To do so, he would need to beat Lennox Lewis, the WBC, IBF, and International Boxing Organization champion. The build-up to Tyson's highly anticipated fight was controversial. 2 years prior, following his win over Lou Savarese, Tyson called out Lewis and insanely threatened to eat his children. At a January 2002 press conference, the two boxers set fire to a brawl that nearly interfered with the match. But despite the chaos, the fight was eventually scheduled for June. Tyson lost the fight by a knockout, a defeat that signaled a significant downturn of the former champion's career. Tyson only fought 3 more times after that. After losing to Danny Williams via knockout in July 2004, he faced Kevin McBride just under a year later, who was a journeyman fighter from Ireland. McBride was considered a heavy underdog and offered only $150,000 for the fight. While responding to taunts from Tyson, he boldly said, "When I hit you on the chin, you're going to feel the whole of Ireland." McBride backed up the talk by winning by a technical knockout in the 6th round. Following the defeat, Tyson immediately announced his retirement, admitting, "I don't have the stomach for this anymore." He said, "I felt like I was 120 years old." Despite his retirement in June 2011, Tyson's legacy was honored and was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame. He began a stint as a boxing promoter in 2013 after forming Iron Mike Productions. The former heavyweight champion is briefly stepping out of retirement for an 8-round sanctioned match against Jake Paul. The bout, which will be streamed live on Netflix, was originally scheduled for July 20, 2024, but was later postponed to November 15th after an ulcer flare-up Tyson experienced. And that's a wrap. In his prime, the 5'10" Tyson generally competed at just under 220 pounds. His day-to-day weight became much more higher after retirement. He revealed in November 2020 that he had lost around 100 pounds thanks to a new vegan diet and a lot of time on a treadmill, ahead of an exhibition fight against Roy Jones Jr. According to Forbes, Tyson competed in 58 fights during his professional career. His official record is 50 wins and 6 losses with 2 no contests. Of his victories, 44 were via knockout. Let us know your thoughts on how you reflect on the ups and downs of Tyson's boxing career. Before you leave, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up.